What's up, guys? It's Grace,
Hi, it's Larea.
and we are the Indigos. And today we want to talk to you about feminine power and what's going on with all of this movement that's happening around us that we're witnessing. Um, I guess, what prompted this topic was that Beyonce's just dropped her Lemonade album, visual album, and it's kind of a new thing with her where she's actually being really overt with what she's trying to do with her artistry. So I just kind of thought everybody's been talking about it, and I thought, oh, it's a good kind of topic for us because, we as the Indigos are two females that are aligned with our purpose, that are trying to, bringing that feminine energy with the intention of what we're doing with Indigos. So I
Oh,
think that,
absolutely. Sorry,
yeah.
Grace. I feel like I'm always cutting you off. Jesus. No, it's very right. It always happens. I think it's very important to embrace our feminine energy and coming together collectively as women to elevate one another and as a unit. I really feel like women are the focal point when it comes to setting a trend, getting everyone involved. We're the nurturers, we're the mothers, where the women assist the kids and they will go to the people and create these shifts and changes. And it's really important as women because society can be so crazy, mixed in with different perspectives on this segregation with women, which is really, really weird. It's important that we join forces so that we can elevate one another, and that we also understand as women that two women shining is so powerful. And it's not about one person shining more than the other, but elevating collectively together. And that's
Mm.
something that Ace and I celebrate, because that's how we are when it comes to being activists, revolutionary women, where we do celebrate our power and we celebrate other women's power because it's a reflection.
Yeah.
A lot of people
I
society
think
get
I think
taught.
that's so, yeah, that's so true. Like, we have to celebrate one another because I mean the world order has been very linear bodies of work, right? So like,
Mhm.
you think about this self kind of way that the world's been running, linear bodies of work, I, this and that, rather than actually collective. And what women bring when they step into their power is more of a collective force of a nurturing, wholesome kind of feel. We're very nurturing by nature. We are very loving, openly. We're very warm and engaging, and I think that that's the sensitivity that the world has needed. And it's been an amazing, incredible time at the moment where we're experiencing these shifts, like even like when you're bringing it down to some of the, you were saying, we're mothers and all that kind of thing, but we also, a term that I've heard recently has been, with the older generations in this world that are women, that are powerful women, like Iyanla Van Sant and, Marianne Williamson, who we both love. They've been using this term midwives, that we're midwives for the next generation. And that's exactly what the Indigos is. That's an embodiment of that. And that is also what a lot of women have been bringing to the table. And it's been an amazing time because all of us are creatives as well. And using our creative power to be able to shift that dynamic has been really amazing. And I think that, Lorraine, like, you're doing what you're doing, with
Yeah.
the coffee, your label, now we're joined forces together with the Indigos, and we're really holding the space so that everybody can feel that energy and, utilize that energy to bring
And
out their
elevate.
power.
It's about
Oh,
collaboration. No, you're right. It's about collaboration and elevating together as a collective, opposed to having this individual idea that we're all alone. But together, it really does make a bigger move and change when we come together. And that's why it's so important to step into your power, so that one, when you're in your power and your full potential, when you are collaborating with other powers, energies, there is this elevation within two people. Sometimes space of like self-love and understanding, self-awareness within self, who you are as a being. And it's important for Grace and I think that it's one of those situations where her and I both were on this individual journey where we were getting to a space of elevation and oneness, and automatically once we achieved a certain level of enlightenment, we came together, and it created something that's even more elevated, where even you and I, when we have these talks, we elevate even more than we do when we're alone, you know? And
Yeah.
that's beautiful about it, and that's our whole concept and idea, to get other people involved in that way too, you know?
And
Because
it's
if you
been great to see that people are getting involved into that
absolutely,
space as well, you know, like they're sending us messages and commenting. And so, you know, it really is helping on a global energy force, you know. And I just found it interesting how, like, because a lot of people are like saying that that, you know, this feminine power that's been coming in has been like the divine feminine, you know. It's the you can't deny the divine feminine power, you know. So it's a matter of being able to like bring that to the next level of evolution, which is, you know, like really standing up strong and not just being like, you know, oh yes, it exists and we are nurturers and everything, but actually what can we actively do to bring out that nurturing in our, like, the divine feminine power that we have? How can we?
There's strength in feeling, being emotional and a woman. There is such a strength in that, but we have to embrace it. You know, sometimes society would tell you the opposite, where we can't be emotional. You know, so many negative references are used within women as examples of something weak, where we have to counteract that and embrace the things that make us women, which feeling everything, you know, at once, those emotions, using those for strength, because when you feel certain things, I feel like it puts you in a space to know what needs to change, what needs to be better, you know?
Yeah,
And I feel like it's feeling first.
Just go back to what you were just saying there, and digress a little bit about that, because I think that's a really important key, is that whatever you're feeling intuitively, act on it, not just feel it, but act on it. So yeah, maybe you can talk about that a little bit more, because like I think people like, they understand it, but they're just like, well, how do we act on it?
Yeah, I think that obviously that's one of those things that comes with practice, because in society we're taught to be logical at such a young age that we a lot of times we abandon those emotions and how we react to them, you know, because people will say like, oh, you're so emotional, you're so, all these things that are associated with feeling. You have to get to a space where, again, it's a conscious adjustment. You have to get to a space where logic is so important. I don't take away from that, but I do believe that emotions and feelings surpass logic, because a lot of things that have happened that I felt prior to them happening, there's nothing I could have come up with logically to explain the feelings that exist. You know, within our emotions, we have two choices: we can acknowledge or ignore. And
And
that's
that's
why,
your you're talking about your natural intelligence, right? It's just a natural intelligence that every single one of us has.
Or that's why they call it women's intuition. There is a reason that they gave it that you know, they coined that term to be that, because we really do have this supernatural power, because it really does come from feeling. We just have to acknowledge it, nurture it, so that it can be more present within our daily life. And I think that that's makes the difference in people that are very intuitive. I think we all have that power, and men have it too. I'm not spied, but are more influenced by their feminine energy, because we have both. We have male and female energy. Sometimes your male energy could maybe resonate more, whether your shell is male or female or opposite, or you could be, you know, encompassing of all woman energy, where you've abandoned the male side. There's so many different levels to it. But when you are, you know, emotionally in a feminine space mindset, I think that has to be nurtured and taken into account when it comes to creating these feelings, because of course, if you don't put balance on them and you don't make them, if you don't refine them, it can be something totally different. But that's with anything. And that's
sometimes those natural intelligent feelings of emotions and intuition, it's not always a rational one. Like sometimes we just like, because like you said, society has conformed us, has made up this kind of way that we so have to interact with each other, and a way of a system working, right? And so that's kind of eliminated our natural intelligence. So we have to tap into more of that. And sometimes it isn't a rational thing. Sometimes it's just a feeling, and you kind of think, am I being like, you know, you question yourself, am I being real? Is this situation really happening? But it is for
It
you.
is real. And that's what you have to know. There is, you
Yeah.
know, when it comes to acknowledging and ignoring, most people in society ignore that feeling.
Yeah.
So, and also when you're dealing with refining that, you also have to take into consideration there's also this feeling that is derived from ego. And I'm not speaking on that. I'm speaking on the true essence of self and
Yeah.
ego driven feelings and emotions that may have insecurity, jealousy, all those things. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to feelings that we inherit that aren't necessarily associated with any type of logical reason. You know, there's been people that have had feelings, you know, woken up uneasy, and all of a sudden there's a natural disaster within that day. You
Yeah.
know, certain feelings you might have where you haven't heard from someone and you talk to them and something might have happened to them or whatever the case might be. Those feelings are the ones that I'm referring to that you have to acknowledge. Don't ignore them, because if you want them to elevate and be more powerful, you have to acknowledge that they exist and dig
Yeah.
deep to find out, well, are they? What are
Yeah.
these different types of things, you know?
Yeah, and I think that once we start to be more in tune with all of those things and actually trusting that they're speaking to us and how to actively act upon it in our, you know, physical world, you know, if we hold the space, if we celebrate each other's female powers of like females and males, if we celebrate each other from that energy, from that female energy, the feminine energy, you know, we're holding the space for the brilliance of others to occur too. So that's you know, the intention with the indigos is for that, you know, for that reason as well, for the brilliance of others to be able to come to life and to assist with that process. But each one of us is just as important, not just, you know, our embodiment of our work with the indigos, but also with you and how you hold the space for you and your friends, or, you know, family, or whatever it is. So it's a way that we can all collectively rise. And I loved seeing that, you know, like, you know, with Beyonce, obviously she's like really well known, and, you know, this is just one person that's doing something, but she's really well known. You know, there's many other examples of that. And a really young version of that is like Willow, you know, who is
Willow's amazing. That's
and she's a
very
supporter of your brand, Appletown, you know. And so that's the
yeah.
thing, like, you know, it's like, you know, she is so young, but she is so awake. Like, you can just see and sense it from her from a very young age. And, you know, it's all these energies of
Kudos to the parents for not suppressing certain things, you know? You can
yeah,
just tell
kudos
when
to
it
the
comes
parents, exactly. And that's the
that
nurturing,
they
isn't it?
allow
That comes back to the feminine power.
absolutely
Yeah,
allowing, you know, spirits to be who they are and on their journey. And it's very, very clear within that household, that family, that there are really beautiful things happening in
yeah,
regards to people being able to be who they are with no
yeah.
judgment.
And
And it
that's the
creates a strong,
intuitive.
you look at her to be so young, it creates,
Yeah.
she's such a strong, you know, and I've, you know, having Willow buys Appletown, and like having her come
Mm,
and shop with us and seeing someone that at such a young age is so centered and so
mm,
self-aware, that it's so beautiful, where, you know, as women, when we're, you know, having children, you know, nurturing, taking care of people, it's important that we give spirits that nurturing so that they can grow and be whoever they are. And I
yeah,
see
because
that, I
she is.
see the product of within her, you
Yeah,
know.
definitely a product of her environment, and that's what we all are. We
Yeah.
become a product of our environment. So if we set the
Mhm.
environment for others and for our siblings and for our family members and for our friends, like, we really are holding the space to be able to, you know, nurture each other. But, you know, her natural intelligence, like, is somebody from such a young age who has really been able to be, you know, brought to the front. And so that's just another example of that happening. But it's a pretty exciting time to see all these incredible women stepping up into their power. And, you know, because for far too long we've been suppressed, oppressed, suppressed, you know. And it's really encouraging that, you know, everyone is stepping to their power and actually just going, you know what, I feel this intuitively and I need to do something about it actively. So yeah, so I think that, you
Absolutely.
know, yeah, do you want to add anything else?
No, I
Oh,
mean, I think you did that, Grace. You did that. That was perfect.
All right, the phone's ringing now.
This is real time, guys. You have to be ready.
Real time, real time. This is all real time, unfiltered, unedited.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We'll see you next time for our next chat. We don't know what it is, but leave a comment, anything that you want to ask us, and we'll get back to you.
All right, soon. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.